Welcome, friends. It is I, Hi-Rez Studios, and it's time for the vlog. And it's time to talk about things. Smite always first and then other things. So, background is Baka. Now, what happened here is kind of a frustrating game because of just frame rate and lag in that game. Like, the ping was killing me there. So I was having some really tough times in the beginning of the game. So I closed as much stuff as I could later on, and eventually it started to stabilize and I was able to do better in the game. But I was still too frustrated from the start of it. And also, it's just a long game, so we have enough of those long games, so this is a vlog game instead of a main game right here. And we just play Baka pretty well when we're not messing things up because of ping or lag. Well, ping or frame drops. Here's the thing is, I kind of wish every game was just perfect, no lag or anything, but it's of course not possible because lag is a thing. Like, if lag just didn't exist, that'd be great, because it really sucks when you miss a shot because of lag, or it really sucks when you react to something but you lose because of lag. Like, there are games where we see Medusa's ult coming and I turn around, my back is completely towards her even for a while, and he goes, no, you were looking at her. That is really frustrating to be laggy and fighting Medusa. Also, if she's lagging, because then she can teleport and have her ult happen and you don't even know what happened until it happens. There's a lot of really frustrating stuff that lag can do with an ult like that, and that's just too bad. Like, it's cool to have that Medusa ult being able to turn your back to it, but what really sucks is just lag makes it not as cool. So it's unfortunate there. And that's just what happens, which is just, well, too bad. My stuff to talk about, I saw the Rayquaza skin for Kukulkan. Skin looks alright, looks okay. The voice on that is not the best. Could be better. Could definitely be better there. Let's see here, what else is there? Like, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about. Xing Shen nerf was fine, the Blink nerf was fine, Deathbringer nerf. This created a lot of debate as to what's better, Deathbringer or Malice. And what it comes down to mathematically is how many times you're gonna crit. If you're gonna only crit like once, or maybe even twice, Malice is a good pickup. But if you're counting on critting more than that, then you go for the Deathbringer. So basically if you're only going for one crit item, maybe Malice is the way to go. Or if you're looking for an early spike, Malice. So that's why Serket and Hunbats are considered you should get that on them for their spike instead of Deathbringer. Well, Deathbringer, of course, will do better with Rage, so that's what's going to happen there. If you go Rage and Malice, I believe it's not as good as Rage and Deathbringer. That's what happened with the math going out there. Now, for Zeus, sorry about Zeus. So, there's 3 Zeus games. Zeus Jungle, Zeus Mid, and Zeus Solo. They'll be coming out in the future. We're going to see Zeus Jungle Monday. We're going to see another Zeus We're going to see 2 Zeuses next week, another Zeus the week after, just to spread out the Zeuses. Just spread that juice around. And, he's ridiculous. He's a really good 1v1 killer. He just destroys things 1v1. And it's nuts. And everyone keeps debating, do you max your detonator or max your 1? You max your lightning. You max your freaking lightning. We did the math on it. We did all the fundamental stuff on it. Your lightning gives you more damage than detonate. Detonate has the greater potential for damage if you can get a group in it. But you're never going to get a group in it. You would need Zeus, you need Odin ult on top of Zeus ult, which is very hard to do, very rare to do. You need Kabrakan on there maybe to make it happen. You need a Hunbats ult. You need a lot of things to make Zeus be able to get a 3 detonate, which is not practical damage. This is the thing you gotta think about. You gotta think about practical damage and potential damage. Practical damage is stuff that you know you could get down pretty easily every time. Zeus's 2-1 combo, you're going to get pretty easily every time. You get one-on-one situation, you're gonna make that happen. You go against them with a couple minions, you can make that happen. You gotta consider what's your guaranteed damage with that. And Zeus's guaranteed damage with 1-2 combo is a lot stronger than his 2-3 combo. Or even ult plus detonate combo. You're likely to get way more damage with Chain Lightning off his shield than just getting stacks off the shield and then doing detonate. There's just more potential damage there. At max potential damage, you'll get about, just looking at raw numbers, you can do about 450 damage with the detonate, just doing some general stuff pretty easily. Whereas with the shield plus lightning strike, the chain lightning, you'll get about 450 to 600 damage. The greater potential is there. Like, they can be on par, but then the greater potential is on the lightning strike right there with the chain lightning. And there's a difference here I should mention is Zeus, when you go one-on-one with Zeus, whether you bounce off your shield or whether you bounce off the enemy god. If you bounce Chain Lightning off the enemy god onto the shield, you hit 3 ticks of Chain Lightning on your opponent, which adds up to a potential of 600 damage. Now, if you bounce off the shield to hit the enemy god, you'll hit him only twice, but the shield damage as well gives you a potential of about 450 damage. Detonate, if you were to go Detonate instead of Chain Lightning and you got the 3 stacks on there, you get about 450 damage. You see what's going on here? Detonate is the minimum you can get with Shield plus Chain Lightning, so you go with the Chain Lightning because you can also go, if you go with the Enemy God, 600 damage. And that's not counting, of course, Power Contribution, which Chain Lightning has more of. Now, Detonate has the better potential damage because if you can get all 5 enemy gods in your Lightning, if you can get them in your ultimate, then you'll get a lot more damage overall with the potential you can do there. The problem is, you're never going to get that. Potential damage is nice and all, but it does not compare to practical damage. Damage that you know you will get on and on and on again. And by focusing on practical damage, you're going to see me destroy the ever-loving crap out of so many teams with Zeus coming up. I freaking wreck with him. Zeus is capable of doing jungle, mid, solo, ADC. I have not done support with him. The only game we're not going to see is an ADC Zeus game, where I freaking do domination with him, but unfortunately, sometimes teammates suck to the point that you can't really win. That's just what it is. So that game actually, I deleted that game. It's like, no, that was just way too frustrating to keep. Now here's the thing. To improve as a player, you should focus on your own play, not on anyone else's play, because you cannot control what other people do. You want to make sure you're accurate with your shots, you have good awareness of what's going on, this and that. You don't want to blame other players for your performance. I feel that there's a thing. Everyone's saying you shouldn't blame others for you losing. But the thing is, you can't. It's a team game. Everyone's responsible for a loss. But for your personal performance, this is something else. Now, this is a different thing. I feel like you have to go deeper on it. For personal performance, you can't blame anyone but yourself. You need to know what the hell you're doing for yourself. The better you do, the better chance you have of winning. But no matter how good you are, you can still lose the game because of teammates. There's just that. Like, you put Allied with 4 bronze, he's probably going to lose. Like, just having one good player isn't enough. You need a little bit more than that. That's just kind of how it is. You can't have one person carry and win the game if the other 4 are terrible. They can carry if the other 4 are at least moderate, but if they're terrible, you can't do too much. And we see a lot of games where I'm doing amazing, but my teammates are not up to par, and they just get destroyed horribly. And no matter how hard I try to carry, I just can't do enough. I'm killing towers, I'm killing gods, I'm killing literally everything. But it's not enough because teammates either don't realize that they need to do split pushing, they didn't need to do towers, they need to do gold fear, they need to do fire giant, and then they just blow it. They just do a lot of mistakes. There is... well, it's the Mercury game. Okay, so you'll see why I get really frustrated in the Mercury game when that comes up. But there are games where it's like, okay, the enemy team is dead. We have time to do something. So we should go do something. It's like, okay, should we do Fire Giant? Should we do Phoenix? Should we do this or that? And then we go and pick one. We do one of them. The problem is we get one of those done, and that means it's time to now disengage and go back. Once you get something done and the enemy team is respawned, it means back up. The problem is, once you've cleared something, this is where you see who knows what they're doing, who don't know what they're doing. You'll see teammates go from that momentum to try to do the next objective. You kill a Phoenix, teammates want to kill another Phoenix despite the fact the enemy team's alive, and then they get wiped because of it. You have to pay attention to what's going on. You kill a Phoenix, and the enemy team was dead during that, that was the time to do it. Enemy team respawns, and you try to do a second Phoenix, or maybe a third Phoenix, you're gonna get wiped out. It's time to disengage, let the fire weapon minions do their work while you go and farm up and get better for the next situation. It's not the time to go and get yourself killed. Same thing goes for if you get Fire Giant. If the enemy team respawns after you get Fire Giant, it does not mean fight under Phoenix against them. 5v5 under Phoenix is always a win for the team with the Phoenix. It's possible, especially if you're really way ahead, but if the enemy team knows how to scramble and how to tank shots correctly, the aggressing team always loses, even with Fire Giants. But we see the situation a lot, and I always complain about it every time because it's not a good situation. We see this often where we are 5v5 against the enemy in the mid at their Phoenix. This is the time to disengage because they have a lot of room to swallow us, and if we try to go in and we do it wrong, we get wiped. And we see this time and time again, and we see me get mad about it time and time again because it keeps happening. It happens a lot. It's not something I am a fan of. When you have Fire Giant, everyone's alive, split push. Spread the enemy around, try to get them to go to 2 different areas, and see if you can swallow them up. Especially because with Fire Giant, you can do a lot more damage, you can survive longer, so you should be doing that anyway. For some reason, Fire Giant just makes people get a little dumb because they get overconfident. Same thing goes for killing a Phoenix. Killing a Phoenix makes people overconfident and they get killed. It's not good. Definitely not a good thing to do. But yeah, Zeus. So here's Zeus. Zeus wrecks 1v1. Zeus can do some good damage to a group as well. He can do 2v1 as well. He can even do 3v1 if you play him smart enough and dodge enough shots. You can do that. But he's still got the same problem he always has, and that is, well, if you get him in a bad situation, he's dead. He is gone. Unless he's got combat blink, he will die. He's Opwatch, he's Anubis, he's that situation. You catch them out of position, you catch them with a good gank, they're going to die. That is what's going to happen to you. That's Zeus's problem. Same problem Opwatch has, and the same thing Anubis has. The difference between those three is Opwatch has the best potential in competitive play because of just what he can do. Because he can delete people very quickly, but he also has that big ult to really spread out and make people just disperse, or even... It's a really good disengagement and a really good engagement kind of ult. Zeus has an ult kind of like that. The thing is, people can kind of ignore his detonate damage in a way, so he's not as really scary in a way. I don't know. Avhooch is in a better spot than Zeus is. And then, of course, there's Anubis, who does not get played in competitive play because he roots himself with 2 of his abilities. And then, of course, he just doesn't have an escape. So he's not in the best spot. While Opwatch can be very mobile while doing his things, which is good for him. Let's see here. What else is there? So Sol's going to be the next goddess, so that's cool. It's weird how they teased her. Like, the way they tease most of the gods, they do a bunch of different things with them. They just teased her feet, which is weird. Apparently Quentin Tarantino is in Hi-Rez now. That was curious. Very curious there. Yeah, that's that. Okay, let's see here. So, Get Back came out. Guan Yu Guide will come out later this week. Got a machinima idea I'm going to work on. And then we're going to also look into doing Chad at some point as well. So we should see a machinima and a Chad sometime in October, hopefully. I really hope we get those out. That'll be great. Let's see, what else is there? As far as stream goes, it's Tuesday, Thursday, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Friday, 6 to 9 p.m., Saturday, 6 to 9, and then Sunday, 6 to 9. Smite's Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. God Pack giveaway Saturday. The next giveaway is going to be 400 gems. Let's see here. Friday is whatever I need to do. So if I need to do if I need to do one-shots, if I need to do hots, if I need to do whatever I need content of is what Friday's for. And then Sunday is what we're traditionally... Let's see, we're doing Metroid Prime right now. We're doing Metroid Prime Trilogy. We might take a break from that for a little bit since we beat Prime 1. Unless it's going on there with the stream. So we're only able to stream 5 times a week for 3 hours, so about 15 hours a week. Which isn't bad. Like, I wish I could stream more, but I have an internship now, so I can't do as much. And then, of course, I have school. So, and there's making all the content. One Piece takes a lot of work to do. Each episode of One Piece takes about 4 or 5 hours. Let's see, depending on the level, it'll take between 2 to 4 hours on my end. And then on Jinx's end, it's all the editing she does. So each episode takes a while to get going. So because of that, it takes quite a bit. But it's really good for it. There's a lot of work going into the One Pieces. So there's a lot of information going in there. And it's going to get extremely spoiler heavy as far as... Well, it's going through the entire story of the games, of the show. So it gets really spoiler heavy as you go forward. It's a really good game, though. It's a very fun, entertaining game. It does so many things right. It does what I feel Dynasty Warriors should evolve into. Because as you go through the story, like I talked about this last week, as you go through the story of the anime manga, the characters get stronger besides their XP level, which is really cool. So they get more abilities and stuff. Dynasty Warriors doing that would be so cool. Also, just the combat system would be awesome. Of course, they take out jumping, but the ability to mix up your normal attacks and your power attacks to make so many different combos would be great, considering Dynasty Warriors is just how many times you hit your basic attack before you do your power attack to do this combo. Like, that's all they do for that one, and it would be really cool to see them mix it up more with this. It would just be pretty damn awesome, I feel. I can't wait to see what Dynasty Warriors 9 is, because of course they're gonna make a 9. They're gonna keep making Dynasty Warriors. There's gonna be so many Dynasty Warriors going. Just, they're not gonna stop doing it. Dynasty Warriors just keeps getting a fandom there, and it's pretty good. One Piece is going to be going on for a while. The LP after One Piece, I am not sure what it will be. And the LP after that one, I know what it will be. It'll be a November game, and you might have a good guess what the November game will be. December is, we're going to buy Xenoblade Chronicles X, I believe, comes out in December, so that's going to be December's big buy. November's big buy is going to be, it might be 2 games, actually. And that's actually revealed the LPS. Legacy of the Void's in November, I believe, and so is Fallout 4. We're gonna play the crap out of both of those games. October though? I don't know what big game's coming out. We might have to just buy a big horror game. I know Soma is something that a lot of people like. Maybe we'll get Soma for October. I'm not sure. We'll see what else might be coming out in the future there. We should do something maybe spooky for October. Well, I also have to see what night is Halloween, because traditionally we do a stream late into night on Halloween with horror games, so we'll see about that one. Last year's was pretty good, I think. I don't remember what we did last year, actually. I know we played a game with jump scares and some other things. And apparently what's great about Soma, which I hear, is Soma's more psychological than it is jump scare. Apparently the only jump scare is more on the making you feel creeped out. And that's what I like. I like it when you feel uneasy and unnerved as you're going forward. You're not sure what's coming. You just don't know what's coming here and there. And there's just horrible things. Now, that can be on just using atmosphere, using sounds, using noises. A lot of creepy things you can do to make someone feel uneasy and a bit scared. And what you do there is you want them to be really charged up, and that's when you probably do the jump scares. You want them to be charged up and really scared for like 20 minutes, half an hour. And then like, boom, scary thing happens. Like, that's what you really want to do. Unlike other jump scare games where it's just, oh, you're doing shit, and then bam, you get hit with a jump scare. And you get hit with another jump scare, and you get hit with another jump scare. It's like, no. Like, it's about tension and release. And this is a thing in making of content, that is tension and release of tension is the best way to put it. Comedy does this just like horror does. The idea is you want to build up the tension. You want to get the person really revved up, like really they're just tense. They know bad things are happening or they're coming or something like that, and then you hit them with it. You hit them so hard with the pressure release that it gets them. It gets them really good. And you do that by just building something up. You just build up the scare, and then bam, you get hit with it. Unlike, I'm just going to say Five Nights. Five Nights where you're like, and you're doing something, and then bam, it just jumps at you because you failed. Like, there's some tension there, but not so great. It's like horror movies do this very, very poorly these days, where it's like, stuff, oh, jump scare. What? It just suddenly happens. They play the music, which is a cheat for it, and it's like, just bam, you get hit with it. It's like, no, not so good. Comedy does this as well, in that they're building up the joke. They're building up the pressure, they're building up the tension with the build up to the joke. And then the last part is the punchline, and bam, you get hit with the joke, and it relieves all the pressure, and then you have yourself a good laugh. That's how comedy does it. Action and drama can kind of do it as well. Drama is just building up just whatever the bad situation is, just building it up and up and up and up. And then there's a release to it all, and whatever is done to relieve that pressure, depending on the situation of the drama. There's a lot of different dramatic things. Same thing goes for romance, where they build up the will they, won't they, and then bam, you find out whether they will or they won't. It's usually they will, kind of thing. That's what they do in that. So it's about tension and release of pressure and all that stuff. I'm explaining this very poorly. So, how did I get there? Oh, from Soma. So apparently Soma does a good job of building you up and breaking you down pretty well there, which is good. I don't know if it's a gory game or not. I just know that apparently it's really good at the psychological, which is great. I'm happy to hear that. Gore is fine here and there. Just too much gore, and then it's more of a gore fest, and it's less interesting to me in a way. Like, horror does not necessarily mean gore, and gore does not necessarily mean horror. Gore can also be an action thing, or just not really horror, but just gore porn, pretty much. There's movies that are essentially just gore porn, and that is pretty much what Saw is. Saw's not really scary. It's more just It's more of a messy, how can we make a mess kind of movie. Like, it's more of that than it is horror. I guess you can put it, that's where it becomes the difference between thriller and horror. And like, that's more of a thriller, I guess? A gore fest thriller, I guess, because it's more like, how are they going to horribly kill these people? It's not really, you don't really feel fear. It's more, you just feel like, I would really not want to be in that situation kind of thing. And that's more of a, I don't know. I'm getting bogged down in definitions here, and then personal opinion on what these definitions are. Not a very worthwhile conversation, is it? It's a thing. It's a thing. Everyone has their opinions on what's horror, what's not, what's this, what's that, what are all these things. You could go into the minute details of what makes different types of metal. Like, there's just so many different things. On that subject, one random thing is, was it chick metal, or lady metal, or girl metal, whatever it is, where they have female-fronted metal bands. And that's a genre, which makes no sense. Just bringing this up. some people try to define female lead metal bands as a genre, which doesn't make any sense because you got more death metal-y ones and more power metal-y ones and more operatic, and just they have their own. They do the genres. They're part of the different genres. They're not their own genre. It's really weird to see them defined as a genre when they're doing the different genres, because not all bands are the freaking same. Like, you go metal is the general, and then you have power metal, speed metal, then you have death metal, then you have what the hell are the other ones around? Oh crap, I can't think off the top of my head. There's like what, 50,000 metals? There's just so many damn different metals there, and then they got chick metal, which is not correct. And anyway, that's their metals are all these different metals. That's the thing about definition is sometimes we get weird definitions when we get bogged down in definition. Weird tangents. But that's the second half of these vlogs. We go Smite, we go over the channel, then we go over whatever the hell I want to talk about. That's how they work. And I think that's it for the vlog. There's no really big topic. Well, there is a big one, but I can't talk about it very well because I don't think I can talk about it all that well. And that is the limitations we place on ourselves. And this comes in a lot of different forms. This comes in the form of excuses. This comes in the form of anxieties, depression, maybe some other different things. There are things we put on ourselves that limit ourselves. And no, it'd be good if we didn't do that. Even myself. Like, there's only so many excuses we can make before it's like, well, what the hell, right? There's only so many things we can worry about before what the hell. There's just only so many things we can get depressed about before what the hell. And that is, there's a lot of circumstances in my life that did not go very well. And for some of them, like, well, there was nothing I could really do about this situation or that situation. No matter what I did, I could not win that situation. And so there's excuses for that, because there are real excuses for some things. There's some things you just cannot control. You can't control some of the things that other people do towards you, and it can go very well or very poorly for you in that regard. And sometimes that's just how it is. Someone just has a feeling about you for whatever reason, and you can't shake that from them, no matter what you do. That is the kind of excuse you can have. Same thing goes for just something of nature just comes up that just hits. Like, a hurricane hits. You can make that as an excuse for whatever it stopped you in doing. Like, no one can say no excuses to that. Like you're in traffic. You can't really have an excuse for that if just, I don't know, whatever reason. Like, look, you could have left earlier. I'm leaving from work. You can't leave from work early, then you're in traffic and stuff like that. Like, there's situations that have excuses. But there's a point where we kind of make excuses to make excuses, just so that we can be blameless in a way, I suppose. And that's not so good. That's obviously not good. The hard thing is recognizing when we make excuses that are actually not really excuses. And that's a tough one. That's a really tough one to recognize. The same thing goes for worries. Where we worry about things that we really cannot control, but because we worry about it so much, we either make it happen, or we just don't do anything. And this is the one that bugs me a lot, because I do this plenty because of my depression. That is, I worry about where the channel's going to the point that I'm just looking at things. I'm constantly looking at our numbers and looking at all these things. I'm basically just turning my gears in place, not going anywhere. I could spend half an hour or an hour just going over our analytics and not actually doing anything. Just looking like, okay, well, we're okay here. We're not looking so great here. I just keep looking at it and keep looking. I'm like, okay, so how can we do better there? But I actually don't accomplish anything. It's just me worrying about it, not actually... Here's the thing. I'm worrying about where our numbers are, but I'm not thinking of how we could do better with our numbers. I'm just worrying about it. This is something a lot of people do for whatever reason. Like okay, everyone's got that grandma or older person who just worries about every stupid thing, and it gets really aggravating. But we all kind of worry about this thing or that thing, and could hold us back. I don't think I worded that very well. Like, I look at our analytics, and like, this could be better than that. Or I look at situations, like I'm looking at Twitter, look at what other people are doing with things, and so I'm like, how can I do that? Or just worrying about how can I just do these things better, I guess. But I spend more time worrying about how to do things better than just doing better, I suppose. I worry about my weight, I worry about my health, I worry about my love life, I worry about all these things. I spend more time sitting on my ass worrying about them than actually doing them. It's gotten to a point where I'm like, yeah, I'm not actually gonna do anything if I keep doing this. So that's why I'm bringing it up now is, there's only so much excuses we can come up with, or there's only so much we can worry about to hold us back. And then depression doesn't help either. Depression compounds that, because depression, for those of us who have it, Depression will twist everything in the wrong way and make us worry even worse, or make us think even worse about things, and make us not want to do things. That's what depression does. It's a very, very terrible thing. It's not cool. I worry about my weight, because like I got a lot of muscle on me. I'm glad about that, but I also got a lot of fat on me. Like, I want to be more... I want to be stronger and faster and just look better and all that stuff, but then I get bogged down in just how I'm not there yet, and then I'm just on my ass being unhappy about that, which is not good. That when that situation happens, it should be just get up and do something kind of thing, which is very important, but it's hard to get out of that when you're in depression. Depression is just like this, that, these things, and all these excuses, and all these different reasonings, and all these problems as to why you should just keep sitting on your ass. Then there's, of course, existentialism, which is like, oh, why even do anything? Why even bother? Why even bother? There's a thing like that. There's all these different things, and it just compounds and you don't do anything. I think I'm just bitching into the void a little bit right now on this. Bitching about myself. But I know I'm not alone in this, because it's just something that is a bit of human nature, where just people just do that. Where they complain, or they worry, or they have excuses, and they just don't do anything. I'm not saying there's not valid worries. I'm not saying there's not valid excuses. There's not valid this or that. Things happen. There are things that get in the way, but there's only so much we can let them get in the way. There's only so much we can let them stop us. I think that's what I'm trying to get to at the end of this thing. We can only let things stop us for so long. At some point, if we want to do better, we need to just freaking do it. That's about it. I want to get stronger. I need to do more things to make me stronger. I want to get faster. I need more things to make me faster. I want to get leaner. I got to do what it takes to get me leaner. Like, I like how big I am, but I know I could get leaner. I like how big my arms are. I like how big my chest is. I don't like how big my stomach is. Like, I think I could be more fit there. Also, lose a little bit on the legs as well. But, I want to be healthier. And I like how strong I am. I'm pretty strong. I like that. But I just want to be healthier. And it's not a bad thing to want to be healthier. To be a bit leaner so you can be healthier. I don't want a six-pack, but I want like a... I also want to be like skinny. But I don't even think I can get a skinny belly. I think I'm too big a guy for that. But... just a better physique, I think. Also, to be able to run more than I do. Like, I can run a bit. I can run for, let's see, maybe full gallop. I can run maybe 5 minutes straight. Not much. Jogging, if I have to, I can jog for a while, but it's not really, I don't like jogging. Walking, anyone can walk forever. I can swim for about 2 or 3 hours continuous, which is pretty good. Swimming's a different beast from running. The whole is completely different beast. Both are good for cardio, but they don't make you better for the other, from what I can tell. At least I can't tell with me. Like, I can swim forever, but I can't run forever. There's people who can run forever, and they can't swim forever. So, like, there's a difference there. But well, I'm a coastal person, so it's fine that I can swim forever, but being able to run more would be nice, but not the biggest fan of running. I like swimming better than running, which is weird because I've nearly drowned a few times in my life. I've never nearly run to death in my life. That's a story from another time, by the way, because those are funny if you're not me, how I nearly died a few times. Let's see here. So yeah, like, there's only so much we can do to hold ourselves back. I think that's where I'm going to at the end of this whole thing. It's just, we can do better with ourselves. And sometimes it's just us holding ourselves back. Sometimes it is a situation, though. Sometimes you're doing 2 or 3 jobs. You just don't have the time to do what you want to do. And so it's more biding your time, and in the future you'll do what you want to do. Or maybe you can find time in the middle of all that. I don't know. Like, there are valid excuses for why you're not this or that. That's just something that happens. But we can still try to do something despite our problems. I think that's what I'm trying to say here. Like, optimistically, there are still things we can do. I hope I worded that correctly. I don't know. I really hope I worded it correctly, though. We can always do better. And we shouldn't try to hold ourselves back if we can. And it's not like, and also just worries. We're not wrong to worry about some things, but sometimes we worry too much, is what I was saying earlier. Sometimes we just worry about too many things, and then we actually get nothing done. I use analytics as a comparison to that, but I can also just talk about my weight as a comparison to that, where I worry about exercise. Again, like, I should just center this all more on this than talking about the channel. Just as a personal thing, just I want to do more for exercise, but then I worry more about what I can actually do, and will it actually make a difference in this and that, and then I end up not doing anything, which isn't good. Before the vlog, I went and did about 50 push-ups. I ran a little bit, and that's good. But I haven't done that in a couple days, which is not good, because I keep holding myself back with whatever reasons for depression from that. It's not good. You got to just keep at it. You got to keep at it despite yourself as well. Could have probably fleshed that all out a little bit better there, but there you go. That was the vlog. That was a long one there. The game's still going, of course, and you can see I'm kind of getting ridiculous in that game. But there you go. That right there is the vlog. I had fun making it. If you're watching, that's all about it. Had fun. Thanks for coming by, and see you next time. And as always, thank you for watching. Thank you for comments and likes and dislikes. Thank you for everything. Thank you to Jinx for all our work. And there you go. See you next time.
Retreat! Retreat! On my way. Be careful. Thanks. Okay. Be careful. So easy. Rampage. Enemy nice job, baby. Defend the right lane. Smells like nice someone's cooking up a killing spree. On my way. I'll defend right. Defend right lane. I'm on it. What goes up? Your right tower is under attack. I'm on it. Never surrender.
An ally has been slain. An enemy has been smoked. Yeah. A teammate did a thing. Hey, wait a minute. There's an extra body here.
Attack the right. Attack the left.
All right, who did it? Who killed the Muffin Man?
Yes. Split push. I'll attack right. Be right back. I'll attack right. Split push. Careful. Split push. Nice job. Destroy the right enemy Phoenix. On my way.
Shut down.
Retreat! Retreat! On my way.
Rampage! Enemy thieving bunch of baby. A teammate did a thing.
Nice job. I'm returning to base. Yes!
An enemy has been slain.
On my way. Attack the left. Attack the middle Phoenix. Attack the Titan. I'll defend left lane. Your team has destroyed a middle enemy Phoenix. Yes! Consume!
An ally has been slain. Ugh. Teammates started feeding. Killing spree!
On my way! Be
An
careful.
ally has been slain.
Retreat!
Better call them Blockbuster because they've been shut down.
Be careful. Group up. Group up.
Oh, that looked like it hurt. Double kill. Sorry.
I'll gank middle lane.
An enemy has been smoked.
Nice
Yeah.
job. Nice job. Yes, Katsu.
Attack the right, Phoenix. Attack,
Okay.
Fire Giant. Okay.
Sorry. Okay.
Right my way.
Yes, Katsu. Nice job. Gank right
Gank
lane.
right.
Gank right lane.
Okay.
Find me food. Find me food.
An enemy has been slain.
Nice job.
Attack the right.
Attack.
Attack the Titan.
Over here. On my way.
Be careful, right.
Reinforcing the offense.
Attack the right, Phoenix. Attack the middle. Attack the left, Phoenix.
Attack the right, Phoenix.
Falling back. Oh, dying. Your only weakness. A teammate did a thing. I'll attack left lane.
I'll attack left lane.
Your team has destroyed a left enemy Phoenix. Good game.
Good game.
Good game.
Good game. Nice job. Impressive.
Nice job.
I'll batten down your hatches.